let's start at the very beginning of why copywriting now and into the future, and why copywriting now more than ever. And we're going to start with this tweet from Austin Belkak right on the front. Everybody knows his story. Wrote his way into Microsoft and then left because he wanted to do something else. But he says here, you want a job, write a resume. You're building a brand, write some content. You're pitching a client, write a cold email. Talking to a friend, write a text. Maybe it's just me, but it seems like copywriting is the number one skill you can learn right now. Tim, let's bring you in. What are your thoughts on copywriting in general and why it's so valuable today?
Yeah, look, I'm with Austin here. I think it's one of those things that we spoke about earlier where it's the secret ingredient that needs to be part of your skill stack. The best writers, they have great headlines. They write really nice tweets. They're good at sending Substack newsletters. They're great at sending marketing emails to sell their courses or their books or whatever it might be. And what's the connective tissue between all of those things? It is copywriting. The problem is, Todd, that whilst you and I know that, it's like this dirty word that no one wants to say. Like, we all know It's copywriting, but no one wants to admit it, and people are gun shy to sort of admit that they did a copywriting course and that's why they're so good at those things. And so I know a lot of really great writers who have great careers, good followings, but they haven't gone to the next level because they've forgotten about copywriting. And so there are two ways to deal with copywriting. You either do a course like this and learn the basics and get good yourself, or you just go and pay thousands and thousands of dollars to have a copywriter do it for you. So the question isn't, do I need copywriting? You definitely need it. The question is, will you pay thousands of dollars for someone to do it, or will you learn with us?
Yeah, of course. And I love the idea that copywriting isn't just like schlepping products. It's the way to get into whatever it is that you want. And I want to start right there with some simple definitions, really, about what copywriting is and why it matters, who can do it, and that sort of thing. So what is copywriting? In my mind, in its simplest form, copywriting is arranging words in a certain way to make people feel or do something. That's the goal. That's the what of copywriting. Who can be a copywriter? Honestly, anybody can be a copywriter. You're writing this now or you're watching this now, you can be a copywriter. Where? You can deploy copywriting anywhere. And this tweet on the screen is a great example of that. When? Honestly, anytime. Tim and I were laughing about this the other day because I sent him a picture of me writing copy at the pool outside during summertime. And that's the life of a copywriter. And that's why it can get some of this shady rap. But imagine the freedom that comes with being able to do something wherever you want, deploy it when you need it, and cash in and get the results that you want at any time. That, to me, is a big goal of copywriting. And then we just talked about why you should learn copywriting, of course. We know it's a big leverage skill going into the future, and pretty much the one thing that you want to learn that's going to augment all of your other efforts. So what's the danger of, if you're a writer online today, not having that copywriting skill?
Well, Todd, when I think of copywriting, you talk about the definition before. My definition is slightly nuanced even more. Copywriting to me is either selling or persuading people to do something. And often that can just be like to keep reading your work. The problem is that people keep thinking that copywriting is to basically sell them something, but that's not necessarily the case. I mean, everything you do in life, you're always selling, right? So that's my added on kind of part to copywriting. But you asked me, like, what happens if you don't have this skill? And the truth is, without copywriting, you won't turn internet traffic into followers. You won't turn followers into email subscribers. And you won't turn email subscribers into customers or community members, etc. And so what's the downside if you don't do those things and you're a writer and you write online? Well, you won't make any money. You won't have a career doing this, and you'll probably give up in 3 or 6 months. So I know that sounds drastic, Todd, but like, that's how bad this is if you don't embrace it, because this is an absolutely fundamental skill. Otherwise, that internet traffic, like chances are, it's coming from a platform like LinkedIn or Twitter or Medium or wherever, and you don't own that traffic. If it gets switched off, you're done. So copywriting is basically an insurance policy so that you can, back up that audience. And if you choose, maybe sell a book or something to them at some point. And you're going to need to be able to persuade and sell using words in order for that to happen.
Yeah, I love that. Without copywriting, to me, it's tougher to get into publications if you want to do that. It's tougher to get jobs if you want to do that. It's tougher to get clients if you're running a business like that. And so for me, this is the skill that it's a little dangerous, borderline unacceptable. Like Tim said at the top, it's not a question of should you learn it or not, or should you use it or not. It's like, okay, are you going to learn it yourself, or are you going to shell out a lot of money to have me or someone else do it for you? And by the way, I'm not for sale. Tim and I, we got a good thing going on here. I'm not about to leave that now. So
can we talk money for a sec here on copywriting?
Yeah, of course.
One sec.
Yeah.
So just to give people an idea, because this blew my mind, the guy that does the copywriting for Tony Robbins, from what I understand, he gets about $2 million in email. And I saw another example the other day of another copywriter, and he gets, I think it's like a 30% commission of all the product sales that come from his copywriting. And I just thought that was amazing, because sometimes people go, oh, maybe this is just like a $5,000 skill. I kid you not, copywriting, you can make at least 6 figures just from this one skill. And the sky's really the limit if you get really good at it. So Todd, before we get into the section, I just wanted to sort of show people like, hey, this is where you can go with it if that's your goal, to make money directly from this skill.
Yeah, of course. I think people will be shocked to learn, especially when it's percentage based. Like you say, that's a great structure. And a lot of copywriters will slip into an existing business like Tony Robbins. They add revenue. So of course they're going to get a big check, because it's not as much when you're bringing in money, bringing in fans, followers, subscribers, whatever your result is. When you're able to do that with words, big checks for sure.